Let me be brutally honest with you for a second. Women don't lose interest in men because of looks, money, or even status as quickly as you might think. What kills attraction fastest is weakness. And I don't mean physical weakness. I'm talking about weakness in attitude. Men like to believe women are impossible to understand, but in reality, we're incredibly predictable when it comes to attraction. We can't fake respect for a man who shows the wrong attitude. We might smile, we might play along, but deep down, we're turned off. And once that switch flips, it's hard to flip it back. Now here's the part most men don't want to hear. A lot of guys sabotage themselves by carrying attitudes they think are harmless or even attractive. But to us, they scream weakness. And the moment a woman senses weakness in you, she no longer sees you as someone she can admire, respect, or desire. Here's something else. Women test men all the time, not because we're cruel, but because we're wired to look for strength, confidence, and stability. And when you fail those tests, you instantly shrink in our eyes. We can't help it. Think about it this way. If a man bends too much just to keep a woman happy, if he acts like he needs constant reassurance, or if he tries to hide behind fake confidence, we see it. We feel it. And once we feel that weakness, we start to pull away. So, let me break it down for you today. I'm going to share 7 specific attitudes that instantly make you weak in the eyes of women. And I want you to pay attention. Not to get defensive, but to reflect. Because if you can change these attitudes, you won't just attract women, you'll keep their respect. 1. Always needing her approval. There's nothing that turns a woman off faster than a man who constantly needs her approval. It might look small, like asking, "Do you like this?" or "Are you mad at me?" every few minutes. But to us, it's exhausting. When a man is too focused on whether we approve of him, he loses the very energy that makes him attractive in the first place. Let me put it this way. Women want to feel a man's presence, not his desperation. If every decision you make depends on whether she smiles or frowns, you stop being a leader and start being a follower in her eyes. And trust me, no woman dreams of being with a man she has to lead around. Imagine this. You're out to dinner, and the waiter asks what you want. Instead of answering confidently, you turn to her and say, "What do you think I should get?" Once in a while, that's fine. But if every choice, every move, every word is filtered through her opinion, she feels the weight of your insecurity. Instead of relaxing into your strength, she feels like she's babysitting your self-esteem. Here's the reality most men don't realize. Women respect men who can stand on their own 2 feet. That doesn't mean ignoring her opinion. It means having your own backbone and not relying on her approval as oxygen. When you constantly need her validation, she might not call you out right away. She might smile. She might even reassure you. But deep down, she feels a quiet loss of respect. And once that respect starts to fade, attraction goes with it. If you want to keep a woman interested, stop seeking constant approval. Make your own choices, hold your own ground, and trust yourself enough to lead. Women feel safest, most desired, and most attracted to men who don't crumble at the thought of her disapproval. 2. Overreacting and losing control. One of the quickest ways to look weak in front of a woman is to lose control of your emotions. Women watch how you respond under pressure. We notice if you explode at small inconveniences, if you sulk when things don't go your way, or if you lash out over little triggers. And when we see that, we immediately think, "This man can't handle life. How will he handle me?" Emotional strength is everything. It doesn't mean you have to be robotic or numb, but it does mean you need to hold your center when life throws things at you. Women are drawn to stability. And if you can't hold yourself together, she won't feel safe being with you. Think about this. A woman wants to know she can lean on you. But if every disagreement, delay, or setback makes you blow up, pout, or spiral, she learns quickly that you're not reliable. And attraction dies when reliability disappears. Women test you not with words, but with how we watch you react. If she cancels plans, are you calm or do you guilt trip her? If she challenges your opinion, do you hold your ground with respect or snap back in anger? Your reactions tell her more about you than anything you say. The man who overreacts is like a storm. He makes her feel unstable, unsettled, and unsafe. But the man who keeps his cool, even when frustrated, instantly earns her respect. And respect is what keeps attraction alive. So if you want to stop looking weak in a woman's eyes, learn to master your emotions. Control doesn't mean bottling up. It means responding instead of reacting. It means choosing calm over chaos. That's the kind of strength women notice and desire. 3. Putting her on a pedestal. One of the biggest mistakes men make is treating a woman like she's above them, like she's a queen, and he's lucky just to breathe the same air. Now, don't get me wrong, women love being cherished and appreciated. But there's a difference between valuing her and worshipping her. When you put a woman on a pedestal, you unconsciously tell her that you're beneath her. And women don't want to look down at their man. We want to look across at him, shoulder to shoulder, equal with mutual respect. Here's the thing, when a guy acts like a woman is flawless, like she can do no wrong, she stops respecting him. Why? Because deep down, she knows she's not perfect. She knows she has flaws, insecurities, and bad habits. And if you ignore all of that, just to glorify her, she realizes you're not seeing her clearly. You're seeing a fantasy version of her, and fantasies aren't attractive for long. Women are drawn to men who see us fully, the good, the bad, the messy, and still choose us. Not men who pretend we're some perfect goddess. Putting her on a pedestal doesn't just weaken you, it also pressures her. It makes her feel like she has to live up to an image she can never sustain. That's exhausting, and eventually it pushes her away. So here's the truth. Treat her with respect, admiration, and affection. Yes, but keep your own sense of worth. Don't let her feel like you're beneath her. A woman respects a man who sees her as human, not divine. Be her partner, not her worshipper. 4. Being afraid to walk away. This is one of the most powerful truths men need to hear. If a woman senses you're terrified of losing her, she loses respect for you. Attraction dies when she feels like you'd rather cling to her, no matter how she treats you, than risk being alone. Women don't want men who are glued to them out of fear. We want men who choose us, but who don't need us. There's a difference. Neediness is weakness. Choice is power. When a man is afraid to walk away, he tolerates disrespect. He accepts bad behavior. He ignores red flags. He compromises his standards, his values, even his dignity, all to keep her around. And while she might enjoy the control for a moment, deep down, she loses admiration for him. Because here's what women really feel. If you can't walk away from what doesn't serve you, you're not strong enough to lead. And if you can't lead yourself, how can you lead her? Walking away doesn't mean being cold or careless. It means you know your worth. It means you're not afraid of being alone. It means you'd rather hold your standards than settle for disrespect. That's strength. So if you want to stop looking weak in a woman's eyes, stop acting like she's the only option. Women are drawn to men who don't cling. The more you can let go when necessary, the more she'll fight to hold on. 5. Acting overly jealous or insecure. Let me tell you, nothing exposes weakness faster than jealousy that spirals out of control. A little jealousy can be flattering, sure, but when a man becomes overly suspicious, controlling, or insecure, it suffocates a woman. Picture this. A woman gets a message on her phone and laughs. If the man she's with immediately stiffens, leans over and demands, "Who's that? Why are you smiling?" He doesn't look protective. He looks insecure. She instantly feels like she's dating a boy who needs reassurance, not a man who trusts himself. And here's the thing. Women don't want to be monitored. We don't want to feel like every interaction with another man threatens you. Because the truth is, if you're strong and confident, we're not going anywhere. But if you're constantly questioning us, constantly suspicious, constantly needing proof that you're enough, it drains us. Overly jealous men end up pushing women away. Why? Because jealousy makes her feel trapped. It makes her feel like she can't breathe without being accused of betrayal. And that suffocating energy is not attractive. The strongest men don't need to check her phone. They don't need to interrogate her. They know who they are, and they trust that if a woman values them, she'll stay. And if she doesn't, they'll walk away. Confidence is the antidote to jealousy. The more secure you are in yourself, the less you need to control her. And that's exactly the kind of energy women crave. A man who trusts himself enough to trust her. 6. Always seeking her validation. One of the most unattractive attitudes a man can carry is constantly seeking a woman's validation. And let me be clear, women pick up on this fast. When a man can't feel good about himself unless she reassures him, compliments him, or gives him approval, it screams weakness. Here's the truth. A woman doesn't want to feel like your emotional babysitter. If she has to constantly feed your confidence because you can't build it on your own, she'll eventually lose interest. At first, she might reassure you because she cares. But over time, it becomes draining. And draining energy is the fastest way to kill attraction. Validation seeking shows up in subtle ways. Always asking if she loves you. Fishing for compliments about your looks or performance, needing her to constantly confirm that you're good enough. And while you may think it shows vulnerability, what it really shows is insecurity. Vulnerability is when you can be open and honest without begging for reassurance. Insecurity is when your sense of self depends on her words. The most attractive men are those who validate themselves first. They know their worth. They don't crumble if she doesn't give constant approval. And ironically, the less you need validation, the more she'll give it freely. So stop asking, "Am I enough?" and start living like you already are. Women respect men who believe in themselves without needing to be told every 5 minutes. 7. Playing the victim. Here's a little wake-up call. Women lose respect for men who always play the victim. Life is tough for everyone, but when a man constantly complains, blames others, or positions himself as helpless, it destroys attraction. From a woman's perspective, a victim mentality feels heavy. It makes her feel like she has to carry the relationship emotionally because you won't carry yourself. And no woman wants to mother the man she's supposed to admire. A victim man says things like, "Why does this always happen to me?" Nothing ever goes right. It's not my fault, it's theirs. That mindset kills strength. Because here's the truth. Women are drawn to men who take responsibility. Not men who are perfect, but men who own their mistakes, learn, and move forward. That's power. Playing the victim also signals fear. It shows you'd rather stay small than fight for growth. And women don't respect that. We respect resilience. We respect men who rise even when it's hard. So if you catch yourself stuck in blame or self-pity, stop. Shift your focus to what you can control. Every setback is a chance to rebuild stronger. That's what makes a man attractive. Not his excuses, but his ability to rise. Women don't want a victim. We want a fighter, a builder, a man who can face challenges without crumbling. Drop the victim card and watch how quickly respect returns. Let me be brutally honest. Women don't fall for weakness. We might feel sympathy for it. We might tolerate it for a while, but respect and attraction die when a man shows these attitudes. And that's the real issue. Respect. Without it, everything else falls apart. Here's the controversial truth. A woman would rather be with a man she respects than a man she pities. And if you're holding on to any of these 7 attitudes, being too agreeable, chasing constantly, putting her on a pedestal, fearing to walk away, drowning in jealousy, seeking validation, or playing the victim, she's going to see weakness. And weakness never inspires desire. But here's the good news. None of this is permanent. You can change. You can build confidence, set boundaries, trust yourself, and take ownership of your life. And the moment you do, women will look at you differently. Not because you've learned some trick, but because you've become the kind of man they naturally admire. So I'll leave you with this. Stop asking how to make women respect you and start asking how to respect yourself first. Everything flows from there. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 attitudes have you noticed in yourself, or maybe even in men around you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be engaging with you because this is about real growth, not surface-level advice. Respect starts within. The question is, are you ready to claim it?